Peters. Hi everyone, this is Tom Peters. Today's date is February 2nd, 2015. I'm the Dean of Libraries at Missouri State University, and happy to speak with Lori Bell's class on the topic of technology planning for libraries. I've got a few ideas on this I'd like to share with you briefly, and maybe I can get some feedback at a later time. So, why would a library want to engage in some kind of a tech planning? You know, technology is all around us. It's rapidly changing. It's hard to keep up with all the stuff coming out. Why would we even bother trying to plan for technology, information technology in libraries? Not only is the tech landscape rapidly changing, but user behaviors and expectations and needs and attitudes also are changing very rapidly. And so even though you might think you have a good tech solution today, and it might take you, 18 months to get to that point. It's going to be out of date tomorrow or later today, and 6 months from now it might be hopefully woefully out of date. I remember very well when daisy-chained CD-ROM drives were all the rage. You know, people getting major grants to do that. That lasted all of, about 2 to 5 years. So it's really difficult to engage in any kind of meaningful tech planning given the fact that the landscape is changing rapidly, user behaviors and needs and expectations and attitudes towards information technology are changing, and worst, I guess in this context, is that sometimes users don't even know what they want or need until the opportunity or innovation is made available to them. I think it's generally attributed to Henry Ford. He made the comment, well, if I'd asked people what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse. And I know from my own experience, I didn't know I wanted a PDA back in the late 90s until I suddenly was presented with the opportunity, and then I couldn't get enough of those PDAs. And same with smartphones and all the other technology, ebook readers, and all the other things that have come down the pike since then. So playing devil's advocate for a minute, why in the world would a library want to waste time trying to plan for this perhaps essentially unplannable tech future that we all seem to be facing? So why should we want to do this? Well, you know, we don't have all the money and time in the world, and we have to be sort of careful in what technologies we choose, not only because they're expensive and we want to make sure they best meet the needs of our user population, but also because we often take the long view. Libraries often take the long view of things. We have a lot of legacy technologies in the library. We still have a microcard reader here in my library, and that's going way back. So we need to think carefully about that. We need to think about how we're going to get to that desired future state. And it's not a steady state. I mean, I think the thing we're learning about technology is it's going to constantly be changing as we our own information needs and expectations continue to evolve. And as I said, we have limited resources in libraries, and so we have to be very careful about how we invest in technology. And the very process of trying to plan for technology can be very salubrious for a library organization. It gets people investigating technologies and thinking about things, and often drives us back to our core mission to think about what we're really trying to achieve here. The main point I wanted to make in my little talk here is that how we go about this. How, you know, if you agree with me that tech planning in libraries is not a waste of time and effort, how would we go about this? And I'm coming around to the idea that we have to engage in what I would call bad information anthropology. Of course, we have to keep up with the tech developments, and that's more than a full-time job. No one can, you know, you can go to CES every year, as some librarians do. You can read things until you fall asleep at night trying to keep up with technology, but it's almost well-nigh impossible to keep up with all the tech stuff that's happening. But collectively, I think we can get a good idea, and if you just watch your users. So I think we have to engage in know your user community. And so anthropology, of course, is the study of humans. Information anthropology is the study of humans, this is my definition, the study of humans searching for, creating, managing, and using information. So we're not interested in their mating behavior or their economic behavior per se. We're interested in their information seeking and use and creation behavior. And then we need to be bad information anthropologists in the sense that once we librarians conduct an information anthropology study, we need to apply that knowledge. We need to intrude into that landscape and try to, as my mother would say, find a need and fill it. So we need to not only understand how people are using information, but also figure out how we can help them, how we as librarians and as library organizations can help them. And in this day and age, of course, it often involves information technology. And so it sounds crazy, but back in before the computer revolution, people's information seeking habits were a little more stable and predictable. Not so much today. We see a lot of amazing information behaviors, people rapidly skimming through a lot of content and then diving deep into various things as they find them. How people actually interact with information is not a intuitive, reliable body of knowledge, I would suggest. And so we have to engage in bad information anthropology in order to do good tech planning in libraries. So then how do you implement that tech plan? You have to, of course, manage the fears and hopes, not only of your users, but also of your faculty and staff, if you're at an academic library. There are going to be a lot of delays and frustrations. You have to be willing to invest in that technology for the foreseeable future. So there's nothing, I think, sadder than, there aren't many things sadder than going to a library and checking out an ebook reader and it's like the first generation Kindle. In this day and age, that would just, it actually presents a bad image to the library to be used to be checking out old information technology. I once wanted to check out I needed to make a video and of a demonstration someone was giving. And so I thought I'd go to the campus sort of equipment shop and check out a camera. Well, it was the most frustrating thing because the equipment was very old, and I finally just gave up and used my cell phone, although the picture quality wasn't quite as good as I might have gotten. It was just easier, and it was current technology. And so you have to assess those ever-changing conditions in the tech front, and then rinse and repeat often, because it's not going to be like one of those things you do once every 2 years. You're going to have some group, a small group, perhaps in your library. If you're going to implement a tech plan and stick with it, you've got to really commit to that. And you have to commit dollars and time and expertise to making sure that your tech planning is as good as it can be. So what could possibly go wrong? Well, with a lot of things in life, not just tech planning, but a lot of things, it's not the technology that's going to fail so often. It's going to be what I call the 3 Ps are going to be your undoing. It's personalities, politics, and pecunia, money, fancy word for money. So you really have to work on the process that's about making sure that you have the right team and that the campus politics or community politics of information technology, and like I said, you got to have the money and the willingness to invest that money on an ongoing basis to make sure that your tech plan has a chance to succeed. And the other thing that can go wrong is that in the tech world, all that glitters is not gold. It's so easy when you read these breathless announcements about something coming down the pike. They always try to oversell it, I think, my personal opinion, and it's hard to find discerning estimations of the impact of any new technology coming down the pike. So a lot of stuff could go wrong, but I do believe that despite the fact that technology is constantly changing, information technology is constantly changing, we're in a BYOB or BYOD kind of era here. We're bringing your own device. A lot of people come into my library, the library where I work, and basically they want access to electricity, an outlet, they want good Wi-Fi, and they want to be able to easily connect their devices to the campus network and do the kind of information seeking, information use, and information creation that they need to do to become educated adults. And they don't know quite what they want sometimes, and I don't know quite what I want from information technology. And I would hazard a guess that just about everybody on the planet doesn't know what they want from information technology, because we all are continuing to learn how this all is shaken out. So I do think it's worthwhile to do this for libraries, but there's a lot to think through, and you don't have much time, because if you spend a lot of time thinking about it, while you were thinking about it, the whole tech world might have changed right under your nose. So it's a big challenge, but I think we're up to it, and I think it's worthwhile. And there's a lot of intelligent people that are trying to use information technology in the best way possible, given all the tools that we have available to us today. And so I was speaking with a colleague the other day, and here's just one instance that I'll sort of sign off with, is that you know, we have the ability today to just about capture everything. You could do your whole life as a series of YouTube videos. And yet there's a lot of things that still aren't being captured. If we have some guest speaker in the library on campus, all it takes is like a signed permission form from that person, that speaker, and you could record it. You could upload it to YouTube or another video streaming service of your choice, and get a lot of value from that, other than the people that showed up in person to hear that person speak. But yet we don't do it very often. And it's not because we don't lack the equipment. I got my cell phone right here in my shirt pocket. I could do it, and I know how to do it. But it's kind of one of those mind-forged manacles, to quote William Blake, that we just don't think about it often as just capturing the significant events of our life and of our campus and of our libraries. And so we really have an amazing number of tech tools available to us, and amazing power with information technology. Much more when I was a young person. It was still kind of print world. And it's just amazing how much information has been available, but it does take some planning all the way from the individual up to larger organizations such as libraries, universities, cities, nations, and so forth. So thanks for your time, and I hope this has helped you maybe kind of make sense of what's involved in tech planning for libraries. Again, my name is Tom Peters, Dean of Library Services at Missouri State University in Springfield, Missouri, in the beautiful Ozarks. And it's cold today, February 2nd, Groundhog Day, and the sun was out. Thanks very much. Take care.